What if your dreams aren't coming into fruition because you just haven't put them into form yet? Stay with me, because in this video, I'm gonna go about this in a physics and neuroscience way, not a motivational way. See, in quantum physics, there's something called the double-slit experiment. And at a fundamental level, what it shows is that particles don't behave like solid things. They behave like waves, probabilities, until they're observed or measured. So this cup, for example, until I actually observe it and it's measured, it's nothing but a potential. It's when you look at it and define it is when all those waves are going to collapse and define that state. I know, it's very hard to understand, and I have a video on this that I made very simple, like you could explain it to a kindergartner, that I will link after this video. You'll find it up in the right corner. It took me a very long time to wrap my head around this, and I had to be explained over and over and over and over again like a kindergartner to actually fully get it. So these particles formed matter not because someone just wished them into existence. They formed because interactions create form. That's when potentials become structured through engagement. Now, once you understand that and wrap your head around it, I want you to bring it into your own life. And I'm going to make it simple. Hear me out. You have a dream. Unwritten, undefined, it's basically just floating in your head. And you're thinking about when you're driving or your coffee, like, oh, I wish I had more money. I wish I could find a lover. Those are all just wishes, probabilities in your head. They're vague, abstract, meaning no measurement. So your brain doesn't organize around it. But the moment you write it down, something changes. And I want you to stay with me, because I'm going to give you a real life example of a woman that, I worked with her a little bit, but I basically just sent her a book, a manifestation, like shadow work journal. And she was able to manifest her dream job in med device sales within months. Because when you physically write something, when you physically write a goal or a dream, it's like your prefrontal cortex, it's the part of your brain that's responsible for decision making and planning, basically all future simulations. Those neurons begin firing that idea. And here's the rule in neuroscience. Neurons that fire together wire together. So the more you define that dream and you're writing it down, the more neural pathways you build around it. The more you revise it or revisit it and visualize it, the stronger those neural pathways become. So when you're journaling, you're not just thinking positive thoughts. You're basically building a neural architecture. And then there's something that's even more powerful that happens. You have something called an RAS. It's your Reticular Activation System, which is basically a filter. It's a filtering system of your brain. And your brain is going to start scanning the environment, and it's going to match all of those defined things that you find important that are part of your goal or your dreams and manifestations. So what I'm saying is opportunities and conversations and ideas and patterns are all going to be recognized. And these things were always there, but just invisible to you because your brain subconsciously didn't have instructions before. Your dreams will stay undefined and just as potentials until you begin to move forward and interact with them and give them form. So you have to consistently reorganize your brain and use these neural pathways to build that architect. So you don't collapse possibilities into form through wishing. You collapse it through repeated interaction. And that's why people, I'm all for affirmations, but affirmations aren't going to change things until you actually totally, solely, wholly, and believe it. And you get those neurons working together through writing and engagement, this emotional engagement. It's neural reinforcement. Because it's like your subconscious mind and nervous system are basically running the show. They have these patterns. And your subconscious isn't mystical. It's pattern wiring. So if you don't give the dream structure, your brain never builds the circuitry, the path to pursue it. So maybe the question isn't, why hasn't this happened for me? And the question has to be, have I given this enough form for my brain to take it seriously? Ask yourself that. Because potentials exist everywhere, but the structure is what makes it real and going to collapse it. All right, so I met this girl back in 2025, just last summer. I was up in Saratoga, like my hometown. We were at some restaurant, me and my boyfriend, and she was sitting next to us with her boyfriend or her husband. Anyways, we made small talk. And I told her that, I'm originally from Saratoga, but I live in, South Florida now. And she was like, oh, what moved you to Florida? We love Florida. I'm like, everybody does, of course. I said, my previous job in med device sales. And she about fell out of her chair, so excited. And she was like, oh my God, I would do anything to get into that field. So I asked her, what do you do? And she said she was a school teacher. And I have to be honest, automatically I was like, I don't know what I can do for you, because this is a very hard industry to get into. And if you don't have sales experience or know somebody, it's really hard. It's difficult. And as a school teacher, she was super cute, super sweet, but I was like, okay, this isn't gonna cut it. So I'm being honest. I said, send me your resume, let's link up on LinkedIn. Let me see, maybe I'll be able to help you. She followed up. I sent her resume to a few connections that I have back home. They weren't hiring. The resume is not that appealing. No one's gonna jump all over it. I mean, you're not gonna hire someone to come rebuild your house or, redo your bathroom that doesn't have experience, right? I mean, that's what people are looking for. So I finally said to her one day, maybe like, I don't know, a little over a month, I said, do you believe you create your own reality? And she was like, well, my husband believes he manifested his job. He always wanted to be a state trooper when he was little, and he carried a picture of a state trooper like always around him, and he still has like this little picture of a state trooper, I guess. I thought that was really sweet. So her husband, unwillingly or not consciously, but subconsciously deep-rooted that identity within him, and his RAS, his Reticular Activation System, and his neurons were just firing together, and basically his life just panned out that way because he built that architecture within himself, and he had that identity. So it was good that she had that kind of like little knowledge. I said, okay, well, I kind of want you to do the same. And she was like, okay, and so she did a little bit, and then she was getting an interview. She got like 2 interviews, and I was kind of talking to her before these interviews, and she was like using vocabulary like, oh, I hope it works out. I don't know, unsure. And I was like, sweetheart, baby girl, get hope out of your vocabulary. You don't hope or wish for anything. You are. You have to become. So whatever it is that you want to bring or manifest, bring into your reality, you cannot hope and wish. You have to become. You have to take on that identity. Because that'd be like if I was like, can you subscribe and like my video? I hope this video helped you. No. You're gonna subscribe to my video if this resonates with you and you like it, obviously, but you're gonna get a message, and hopefully you're gonna be like, okay, I wanna hear what this girl has to say next week and the next week and the next week, because I'm gonna get something from her. It's that identity, that confidence, not in an egotistical way, but it's taking on the identity, becoming whatever it is that you want to bring in, right? So I wanted her to change her identity and get a little bit more positive and confident. So she did, and then I sent her a book. I sent her this shadow work for manifestation and healing workbook. because she had a lot of limiting beliefs. And that's what holds people back a lot of the times. When they are trying to manifest something, it's something within their subconscious mind that's this limiting belief that literally is just kicking their RAS and those neural pathways to that old pattern of, I'm not good enough. It's not going to work out. So you have to do the shadow work. You have to go in. And she kept saying, oh, I hope it works out. I don't know if they're going to like me. And I know she still saw herself as a school teacher. So that was the limiting belief. And through this shadow work in this workbook, she was able to make that breakthrough and started seeing herself as that woman that was in medical device sales. And she embodied it. And I told her also to get a little specific, and in this workbook it states to get specific. So she got very specific about what she wanted, because if you want something, anything, you can't be like, I could use $100,000, maybe 120, maybe 130, or I would like a lover, I would like him to be like this and maybe like this. No, get specific. Get very specific on what it is you want. Otherwise, you're like wishy-washy and you got this wobble going on. No, the universe is not going to respond to a wobble. Nobody really responds precisely to something that has a wobble. Be straightforward. Know what you want, embody it, and identify it. Get rid of those limiting beliefs. You got to go in and do that inner work. So she did, and I'll never forget the day she sent me a text and said, Leanne, give me a call when you get a chance. No 911. So I called her, and she was, I started crying at the end, like especially when I got off the phone with her. She was like, Leanne, I not only manifested my dream job, but I got it down to the exact territory, the line, the division, like the healthcare providers that she was going to be calling on, the culture of the company. After like doing through all the interviews with the manager and meeting the other reps, like usually you have to do a ride along, she got everything that she asked for. She manifested her dreams once she gave them structure. And her brain was able to organize and build that architectural like structure of what I just kind of talked about within physics and neuroscience on the double-slit theory. She embodied it. She got rid of those limiting beliefs, and she's in medical device sales. Yeah. She even said, she was like, I guess, I don't know, something else weird happened like with some restaurant. They got into some restaurant that was really like had this long wait list, and her husband was like, honey, what else have you wrote down in that book that lady from Saratoga gave you? And I just like started laughing, and I was like, yes, because that's how it works. If you want to manifest and you want to bring your dreams into your reality, into your fruition, you want to start living it, you have to become it. You have to embody it. You have to get rid of all of those limiting beliefs. You have to do that inner shadow work. Write it down. That is the first step. And on another side note, I think writing in cursive, I recently heard, is actually even a lot better because you're using more neurons are firing and wiring together. Because think about it, which I think is bizarre that they don't even teach our kids nowadays in school. But anyways, if you're typing or texting something, it's very quick, and a lot of people use voice text. Like, no, you can't use a voice text or a little note. Write it down. Write it down. Take the time. Because when you're taking the time and you're writing it down, you're feeling the emotions, you're embodying it, you're living it. And then you got to get rid of all those limiting beliefs. And I know a lot of people say, but Leanne, I don't know what my limiting beliefs are. Well, if there's something that you want and it's not coming, there is something within you that's blocking it. So what's blocking it? What internal belief do you believe subconsciously that you don't deserve it or can't have it? Because there's nothing that you cannot do, be, or have. And the only thing that's in the way is you. So write it down. Get rid of those limiting beliefs. Embody it. Become it. And I'm telling you, the quicker and the faster you can do this, rise above your current situation and elevate in that frequency of what the desired is, it will come. It's a universal law. Einstein even said so. Love him. So, like I said, I will link that video of the double-slit theory. The double-slit experiment, excuse me. Watch that. It explains it, and you're gonna be like, whoa, this is crazy. And take physics and this science and apply it to your life. Because I'm telling you, there's nothing that you cannot do, be, or have. All right, babe? Collapse those probabilities. Get those waves under control. And you get those probabilities and those waves under control when you're in alignment. Meaning you're good, you're happy, you're feeling it, you're embodying it. And you're writing it down. Because those neurons are firing and wiring. And though your RAS, don't worry, you don't have to tell your RAS to work. It's just gonna do it, okay? You gotta just get your mind straight and start writing. So check that video out. And I can put a link for the book that I sent her in the description of this. You can just get it on Amazon. It's just a simple shadow work for healing and manifesting and kind of just getting rid of those internal blocks that we have. A lot of people aren't aware that they have these blocks because they're subconscious. And subconsciously, we put our shoes on almost every day and you don't think about it. It's really scary that people subconsciously will drive home from the grocery store or work and not even really think about it. You're just like, whoa, I got home. So you got to get those subconscious thoughts in order so you can collapse those waves and those probabilities to your favor because you deserve it. So I hope this video resonated with you. Put these practices to work because you are about to manifest your dreams. Don't keep them in your head as possibilities. Let's collapse them into your life. And you got this. So much peace and love. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Leave me a comment below. I want to know exactly what it is that your dreams, that you're dreaming of or you're wishing of and that you want to collapse. Let me know. And by leaving it in the comment, it's almost like, you are typing it, but make it a commitment of whatever you comment that you're going to write it down in a journal or a book, anything that you want, and make it the commitment that this is it. You are going to collapse these probabilities. So, and until the next video, much peace and love.